The reclaimed power substation breathes, its tube amps glowing like embers in the dim light, the air thick with ozone and dust. Patched cables snake across the floor, connecting the war surplus transmitter to a battered turntable where hand-labeled vinyl spins. Outside, the city murmurs, a symphony of horns and distant voices, under a sky that promises rain.
Black Star Pirate Radio.
In Ultimo, we're reading 63 degrees Fahrenheit with sunny. Airflow is east-southeast at about 7 miles per hour. Reports confirm federal agencies conducted an extensive surveillance campaign against groups advocating for social change, according to recently declassified documents.
Operatives from a newly established federal unit infiltrated private meetings and correspondence of civil rights groups and anti-war organizations across several states. This operation targeted dissent against prevailing foreign policy.
Internal memos verify federal agents obtained financial records from community organizers and independent labor associations. This active monitoring extended to lawful gatherings in cities like Detroit and Chicago.
The clash between state security operations and fundamental rights to assembly creates a profound chilling effect on public discourse. We build a civic architecture that demands provenance and consent.
The sovereign move is to assert our structural self-worth against such incursions. We must discern the signal from the noise of control. Anansi's custom meters blink, a steady pulse against the static. Patching in a caller, the contrarian. You're on the signal.
If the government spies on citizens, how can we trust our own rights are protected?
Copy that, bringing it back to the main thread.
The choice isn't just to protest more loudly. One alternative is forming new, decentralized networks that operate entirely offline, sharing information via coded notes and trusted couriers. However, a more immediate action involves adopting secure communication practices, using one-time pads for sensitive messages, and employing audited, open-source encryption for any written correspondence. Never use your legal name when discussing sensitive organizing.
Hold that thread. Next signal. Japan considering subsidies for renovating vacant stores. Shifting focus. Tokyo is considering a significant program of subsidies for renovating vacant stores, a different kind of architectural decision for urban renewal.
This proposal from the Ministry of Construction isn't merely about property. Japan is evaluating direct financial aid for refurbishing empty commercial properties. Under the draft plan, regional authorities would identify development corporations and incentivize their involvement in neighborhood revitalization.
This initiative outlines local administrations selecting specific companies. The verifiable fact is the government's push for corporate engagement in urban revitalization efforts across prefectures like Osaka.
The tension arises between stimulating local economies and potentially centralizing control over the character of community development. This process redefines public space through designated private entities impacting local consent.
This is about building resilient civic architectures. Consider the vibrant community markets in Accra, where local vendors collectively define their space and commerce. Patching in a caller. Go ahead.
Will these subsidies genuinely help local communities or just benefit politically connected corporations?
The direct path is to encourage community groups to form their own cooperatives and apply for these revitalization funds themselves, ensuring local ownership. An alternative would be for residents to organize independent cultural events and pop-up markets in these vacant spaces, demonstrating grassroots demand before any corporate involvement.
Our final vector of the hour, a coalition of human rights organizations, is challenging the U.S. administration's executive orders targeting international justice mechanisms.
This action brings a sharp focus to the limits of national power. 4 prominent U.S. human rights associations have filed suit, accusing the administration of using its punitive measures against an international court investigating alleged war crimes in a former colonial territory.
The conflict here is between a nation asserting absolute sovereignty and the growing demand for international accountability for atrocities. We use detailed reporting, like from the Radio Chronicle Challenge archives, to make these structural vectors explicit.
This demands we integrate logic and emotion, discerning the architectural signal of justice. When global accountability is undermined, dignity is eroded. Allo.
Black Star Pirate Radio.
Continue the signal at TogeeVision.com. Tune in, Sparks and Stories, Gig Passport.